morning and welcome to Sports Watch. Our top story comes from Florham Park, New Jersey and the New York Jets training facility. Our sports reporter Jake Asman is on the scene. Jake, what's going on with the Jets? Well,
Caitlin, the biggest story rocking the sports world and the New York Jets world, starting quarterback Geno Smith sucker punched in the jaw by his own teammate. It was I.K. Enemkpali, a backup linebacker on the team, that clubbed Geno Smith in the locker room. The dispute was over about $600. Enemkpali wanted Geno Smith to attend his charity event this summer. When Geno Smith canceled on the event, Enemkpali felt that Geno Smith should reimburse him for the ticket. The situation has landed the Jets without their starting quarterback for at least 6 to 10 weeks, according to head coach Todd Bowles. Enemkpali was immediately cut by the team after this incident unfolded. And Enemkpali, who was fighting for a backup linebacker position on this team, what maybe wasn't even going to make the team in the first place, gets into this dispute with Geno Smith. He's now jobless, and the Jets are now without their starting quarterback for 6 to 10 weeks. They're going to be looking to turn to Ryan Fitzpatrick, and obviously for the Jets, it's a tough loss for them because they were penciled to have Geno Smith be this team's starting quarterback. As early as tomorrow, Geno's going to start against the Detroit Lions in Detroit for the Jets' first preseason game, but now they're going to turn to Ryan Fitzpatrick as the Jets have to move on if they're playing at quarterback. Caitlin?
Now, Jake, with the Jets having to turn to Ryan Fitzpatrick as the starter going forward, what can the Jets expect from him?
Well, Caitlin, they're hoping that Ryan Fitzpatrick, with his familiarity in this offense, don't forget, he's starting for his sixth team. Most of that time, though, was with the Buffalo Bills when the Buffalo Bills head coach was Chan Gailey, who's now the Jets' offensive coordinator. So they're hoping that Fitzpatrick's familiarity in this offense will allow him to have an easy transition as the team's starting quarterback, and he'll be able to play at a high level. With the Jets at Florham Park, New Jersey, Jake Asman, ICTV.
Thanks, Jake. After the break, we'll preview tonight's Yankees-Red Sox game. Stay with us. Good morning and welcome to Sports Watch. Our top story comes from Florham Park, New Jersey and the New York Jets training facility. Our sports reporter Jake Asman is on the scene. Jake, what's going on with the Jets?
Well, Kaylee, you're not going to believe this, but the Jets are going to have to turn to Ryan Fitzpatrick as their team's starting quarterback. Their starter, Geno Smith, was sucker punched by backup linebacker I.K. Enemkpali in the locker room earlier this morning. Enemkpali and Geno Smith got into it over $600. That's what's rumored to be out there. It was over a $600 plane ticket that Enemkpali felt that Geno Smith should pay after Geno canceled on his charity event. The Jets have already cut Enemkpali for the incident. Geno Smith is going to have jaw surgery, and head coach Todd Bowles told the media earlier today that he's going to miss 6 to 10 weeks. You look at Enemkpali's history, this is not his first legal issue before. Enemkpali, who was, as I just said, fighting for the backup linebacker spot, was arrested in April of 2011 for an incident with an undercover police officer that stemmed from a domestic violence incident as well. So Enemkpali was drafted by the Jets in last year's NFL draft in the 6th round. The Jets were expecting him to compete for the backup linebacker spot, but now they're going to be without both Enemkpali, who they just cut, and Geno Smith for 6 to 10 weeks. They're going to have to turn to Ryan Fitzpatrick, Caitlin.
Now, Jake, with the Jets having to turn to Ryan Fitzpatrick as a starter going forward, what can the Jets expect from him?
Well, they're really hoping that Ryan Fitzpatrick and his familiarity with his offense that he's able to come in, know what he has to do, be able to make the plays. If you remember, most of his playing time the previous couple of seasons was with the Buffalo Bills. Who was his head coach in Buffalo? It was Chan Gailey, who's now the New York Jets offensive coordinator. So they're hoping that Fitzpatrick can come in, understand the offense already, and come in and be able to execute as this team's starting quarterback when the Jets take on the Detroit Lions in tomorrow night's preseason opener.
Thanks, Jake. After the break, we'll preview tonight's Yankees-Red Sox game. Stay with us. Welcome to Sports Watch. Our top story comes from Florham Park, New Jersey and the New York Jets training facility. Our sports reporter Jake Asman is on the scene. Jake, what's going on with the Jets?
Well, Caitlin, you're not going to believe this, but the Jets are going to be without their starting quarterback, Geno Smith, for 6 to 10 weeks. He was hit in the face, sucker punched, if you will, by backup linebacker I.K. Emanapali. The dispute was over about $600. Emanapali felt that Geno Smith should reimburse him for a $600 plane ticket to a charity event that Geno Smith said he was going to attend but had to cancel last minute. Emanapali has already been cut from the team by head coach Todd Bowles. Emanapali has a checkered past, though. In April of 2011, he was involved in the domestic violence incident, and he also hit an undercover police officer. Stemming from that same incident, the Jets felt comfortable, though, enough to draft him in last year's draft in the 6th round. But as I just said, Emanapali now is off the team, and Geno Smith, who was supposed to be this team's starter tomorrow night when the Jets head to Detroit to take on the Lions in their preseason opener, he's now out of the way, and the Jets are going to turn to Ryan Fitzpatrick as this team's starting quarterback going forward. They feel Fitzpatrick could do a good job, but they were counting on Geno Smith to be this team's starter. They like his upside a lot, but now they're going to have to wait at least 6 to 10 weeks if they're going to be able to get this guy back. Caitlin?
Now, Jake, with the Jets having to turn to Ryan Fitzpatrick as the starter going forward, what can the Jets expect from him?
Well, Caitlin, they're really hoping that Ryan Fitzpatrick can come in here and have an impact on this offense right away. He has a lot of familiarity with it. His head coach in Buffalo for several seasons when he was up there was Chan Gailey, who's now the Jets' offensive coordinator. So they're hoping that Fitzpatrick, who's starting on his 6th NFL team, can now come into play, be with this offense, and be able to get things going right away tomorrow when they take on the Lions in Detroit. And it'll be interesting to see if he's able to do that. The Jets put some playmakers around him. Now they're going to rely on Ryan Fitzpatrick to be able to make some plays. With the Jets in Florham Park, New Jersey, Jake Asman, ICTV.
Thanks, Jake. After the break, we'll preview tonight's Yankees-Red Sox game. Stay with us.